May 7, 1939. I thank you, beloved children of the light, for your loving gratitude, but notice, your gratitude to life. We appreciate your love, but we want your gratitude to life, beloved ones, and will you remember that, kindly, in the future? First of all, the place of gratitude is to life, then whatever you give to us and the messengers is most graciously accepted, of course. But until you hold yourselves steadfast to the light which beats your hearts, will you find yourselves fluctuating between good and the opposite. The earth is being freed from humanly qualified energy, which is the destructive force. After all, remember, the forces of conflagration and destruction in Europe and the Orient today are of mankind's own creation. Whether they be discarnate or whether they be in human form, still it is human, discordantly qualified energy, which drives its mighty focus at the forces around individuals who have gained influence over their fellowmen, to draw that power of destructive force until it explodes, or they do. Did you notice that? Many things in this world are near the exploding point. 264. I always have a great sense of humor in all things, even serious. I refuse to acknowledge that human creation can produce anything to frighten anyone. I have known only victory for thousands of centuries, and I bring that accumulated power to you, the children of light in America, and I want you to feel that is no idle thing. I want you to feel that is the sustaining power which will give you the power to gain your victory in your call to the I Am presence of life. The human of itself does not have sufficient energy, does not have sufficient power, because people have wasted it, but we who know the law of your requirements, are ready to come to the assistance of mankind and supply the power. The quality of light and energy which does give them the strength and courage to go on in their call to the presence of life and win the victory. So I say to you, the power of light is your freedom, and only when you know its source can you draw it forth. I wish that this explanation of the messengers tonight could have enveloped the earth. My dear people, your I Am presence is the foundation of the universe, because really all came forth from the light. The great powers of the universe said, "Let there be light," and out of that light came a universe, oh, not just your little planet here, but all those belonging to this system of worlds. There is really one who has been the guardian and who is the secret planet of this system. Beloved ones, the scientific world has not found it yet, but for you of Earth, because of 3 dispensations which we have obtained from the central source governing this system of worlds, the intelligence and power of that planet will begin to act. The power of that secret planet will begin to take action upon your Earth, by great and mighty intelligences who are the governors of that planet. 2 or 3 times the scientific world have thought that they have touched this great secret planet. I say secret, because it has not been known to the outer world. We have known it for a long time and have watched its approach, for the day when its assistance would strike the earth. So, today in the vast change which is taking place, most of it you do not yet know, you will ere long begin to see the outpicturing, and after the fiat of the Goddess of Justice this afternoon, you will see many changes. I ask you to watch. Therefore, tonight in bringing forth this knowledge, these various qualities to establish, to sustain, and to carry you forward until such time as you do hold your dominion by your own dynamic application, remember you can be carried only so long. When you have gained the understanding, when you have gained the application, then sometime you must be made to stand upon your own feet, and in your call to the I Am presence, draw it forth. Remember, your precious messengers who are before you, when Saint Germain sent them forth, were like 2 little children and were given very great protection, but as their strength, momentum, and energy were gained, they became their own protectors by their own dynamic power of application and the call to the I Am presence of life. Someday every student, not necessarily before your ascension, but sometime, somewhere, every one must gain that dominion. If your stream of life, which is the guarding wisdom of you, should choose to set you free before that time, that would be wholly within the wisdom of your life stream, your I Am presence. I am not authority over that, neither is anyone else. Your presence is the authority of your world, through your higher mental body. In this great achievement in this class, I venture to mention just a few things. Please keep your seats and do not applaud, for we want to keep the energy of the room perfectly quiet, so you may have the greatest service possible. 1 million more people's attention has been called to this great light through the class broadcasts, through the transcriptions. I want to tell you one thing, which I am sure will be highly inspiring to everyone. At a certain place, an individual came to the class of the messengers and was tremendously uplifted. Returning home, that one stood the I Am study groups on their feet and 3 nights decreed for supply for a contract of a year's transcriptions. After the third night of their decrees, a gentleman came to this leader and said, I have a friend who has been listening to these broadcasts of Mrs. Ballard's. He wishes to hear 2 more a week, and here is $1,000 to start it. That is what will sweep this America. Beloved ones, the people are listening and are hearing this great truth. You will find, if you will stand your groups on their feet, if you wish to expand the transcription work or whatever else you wish to do, and give your decrees for it, the powers of the presence will provide. Know this and be certain. Do you think, when you realize all the money that is wasted upon your earth, your call to life will not set into action the power and authority of life to render this service as the Savior of mankind? Do you not see, my dear ones, you who are looking to the light are drawing forth the power of the light, and it is 1,000,000 times greater than all human creation put together? Then do you think anyone, when the I Am presence of the individual says, place your money here, has any authority to withhold it? Everyone in America will one day want to bless his or her fellow man by expanding this light, and do not forget it, my dear people. Do not be impatient, beloved I Am students of the light. You are gaining a momentum and power, and one day you will be so greatly surprised when you see begin to move into action the answers to your calls, with a speed and power which would today seem incredible to you. I say to you, friends who might be here for the first time, people of New York and elsewhere, do you understand what the I Am student body of America is rendering in its service to you and to your fellow man, in issuing these almighty I Am decrees for the freedom, supply, blessing, divine order, and divine justice for your fellow man? This is the mightiest thing that was ever uttered on this earth. Remember, it is gaining a power of momentum in the mental and feeling world of mankind which is becoming a tremendous action, and thousands of people who are hearing this, know instantly it is true, know instantly it is their freedom by the light within their own hearts. If you will only let that light speak to you, beloved ones, then will you see how magnificent and how very wise it is. Intellectual wisdom is of short duration, but the wisdom of life is eternal. The wisdom of life is the savior of mankind, and every man has got to be his own savior, by calling to the I Am presence of life and undoing all the mistakes he has made. To have them dissolved and consumed is the only way he can be saved from his own creation. You have heard the old statement so long used, oh, save my soul, which is your emotional body, your feeling world which has created all the discord that has ever beset you as an individual, and the word soul is not synonymous with God, as many have so interpreted it. Soul is the discordant creation of man. God is the I Am, your mighty presence of life. How do you suppose, ladies and gentlemen, that in Egypt and those ancient places, such distortion came about in the gods which were created? Because some of their priests had once seen this I Am presence of life, God individualized, then, because of their lack of obedience, had lost the vision of it. They returned into their own human creation, and when they were no longer able to find that I Am presence, or see it, they turned and created their own gods to deceive mankind, which they did. That was the downfall of Egypt and everyone else who attempts it. So I say to you, beloved students, never pretend to be what you are not. You have observed, my beloved students, the conditions which have been among you, where individuals swearing loyalty to this light and to the messengers, so quickly turned aside and hated them. Never swear your loyalty to the light and the messengers until you are sure of yourself, because if you do, one day you have got to fulfill it, and you may have to fulfill it under the most tragic circumstances. When you swear something to life, remember you will fulfill it. Therefore, in this day, the great dissolving process is taking place in the world of mankind, in all conditions whatsoever that exist. Remember, when you have a building in your city which has become out of date, in fulfilling and supplying the requirements for something better, you tear it down and rebuild it. The process of rebuilding the perfection of life through the human could be painless, if people would so have it, but if they will not have it, then it might become very painful. Remember, my dear people, life has given you ages, has given you century upon century in which to make up your minds. But now you are coming down to the point where you are going to have to make up your minds, whether you will serve the light or the shadows. Make a note of it, if you like, and the date I speak these words tonight, if you want to verify it. We do not tell you anything which will not be verified, and remember that. You will find we, who are wholly free beings, know exactly what we say. We know the truth of every word, and therefore, my dear people, don't pile upon yourselves more destructive forces by denying that I am giving this dictation. Do not deny that I am the being I say I am, and do not say it is the messenger making up these words. Mankind is going to stop that kind of thing. We are exactly what we say we are, and the messenger is but voicing my words to you, and if you think we cannot fulfill what we bring to your attention, then you are greatly mistaken. I came here to bless your earth, and I shall do it. Sanat Kumara, who 4.5 million years ago came from Venus, is the guardian of your people and their savior. Why do you suppose all this is coming about? By his decree. How do you suppose your beloved Saint Germain was raised up, given the ascension, and made the Lord of the seventh ray? By your beloved Sanat Kumara, the authority for this entire earth, and everyone to whose attention you have been drawn, is under his great authority. I am the leader of the second group which has come from Venus to assist the earth. I charge you, don't one of you go forth from this room and say that is not true. If you do, I will follow you up and prove it to you. I mean that. This doubt, unbelief, and falsehood of mankind, I tell you, shall cease. Beloved ones, remember, it is the only way mankind can have their freedom. Mankind have got to be honest with each other, honest with life, and stop their everlasting doubt, criticism, and condemnation of that which they do not understand. We are really the guardians of mankind, so I warn you from this day henceforth, do not let anybody go forth and say that I am not what I say I am. This thing is going down in mankind. It has got to do it, for them to be spared. Let me tell you something, you blessed ones who are here tonight, I leave you free to believe this or not. There are 3 million people in America today who know of this I am activity, and out of that 3 million, 2,500,000 know it is real. Now then, what does one human opinion amount to, in comparison to the great volume of intelligence which is acting upon this earth? They know it is true, and are making their calls to life to render this service, in the silence of their own homes and offices. You would be surprised, blessed people, to understand and see your great businessmen in America who have been listening to these class broadcasts and the transcriptions, and once they touch it, continue to see and remain to admire. This man I told you of, who was listening to the transcriptions, is only one of the influential men and women of America. So do not be ashamed to come to the classes of the messengers. One day, you would seek throughout the earth to get there. Remember, these messengers, as one has told you, have battled with the unbelief of mankind, and have taken their scathing, false condemnation for the last time. Remember, my dear people, that we shall be the guardians of the future. They shall not be subject to any more of it. Therefore, as they go forward, and you who are so loyal and wonderful, remember. Your love, your gratitude become the almighty guarding presence of your beloved messengers, who give their all and ask nothing for themselves. Remember what friends you have. Therefore, we rejoice to see the shell of New York broken. This I am activity will expand, and all falsehood in New York concerning this mighty light shall cease to be. Dear people, when individuals are willing to give their life for their fellow man, it is the greatest gift in life. These messengers who for 5 years have been giving their life to you, to America and the world, asking not a dime, asking not one single thing for themselves. Not even asking us to sustain them in health or supply, they have depended upon their own application and call to the I am presence of life for their health, their strength, their limitless energy, and the power which they wield today. So I say to you, be kind enough to yourselves to speak well of this I am activity. Remember the opportunity which is before you. This law of life is before you. You have heard the messengers say this a number of times, but I say to you, instead of handing it to you on a golden platter, a free gift of life, it is a jeweled container which hands to you the freedom of life. I once invited the beloved students into my garden. Do you think that means just a place of beautiful shrubbery? Oh no, that means a place of the jewels of perfection in the attainment of life, which you may observe while your bodies sleep. So you may come to me and see for yourselves, and if you so decree it, retain the memory on your return. Then tell me on your return whether I am real or not. I offer you the opportunity. The world is returning, beloved ones, to the glory of God, and in that glory has found its scepter, the words, I am. No wonder individuals now and then sought the world over for the explanation of those two words, but when they did attain that explanation, they were no longer of the world, and mankind soon saw them no more. Notice, your beloved messengers came to know the power of those words and chose to remain here and assist you. Do you not think it is time for them to no longer battle with mankind to carry to them the truth? Do you not think it is time that is finished? I think so, and if you will observe, you will see with me that is quite right. There are a lot of things I would like to say to you tonight, but because of the service being rendered, I cannot cause you to be too hilarious. The messenger felt that happiness when I stood here, for I do want you to be so happy. In the happiness of life is the great power and victory. When you are tense and frightfully disturbed, how could life release its freeing power to you? So in happiness, in the great joy, ecstasy, and enthusiasm of your acceptance of life, there comes the great outpouring. Then do your body and mind and world of action become saturated with the perfection of life, and for a time you wonder that everything seems so lovely, that everything seems so peaceful. Then, when you do not understand how to hold that radiance, all of a sudden you find yourself back in the radiation of the outer world, and you wonder what on earth has happened. That is just it. You who are here, and even, I say, to you who are here for the first time, if you decree it, if you so determine it, you could hold this radiation which is here for all time. You cannot do it if you doubt. If you question my reality, you cannot have my substance, because I won't let you have it. You know it is mine. You gentlemen out here in the world get a bunch of money in your hands and you say, this is mine and you cannot have any. I will use this as I want to, and you do, but what it brings back to you sometimes. May I offer a beautiful suggestion, ladies and gentlemen? In all the money which you use in the future, would you ask the wisdom of your life to direct its use? That would be very, very great wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think you would like to do that? Oh yes, some of you would, but I question whether all of you would quite depend upon the wisdom of your life stream to direct that activity. It might choose to do something you would not want to do. Then what would happen? Now that has been the condition of the past, but after tonight, you will have to do what the wisdom of your life wants you to do, I assure you. Do you think that is coercion? Oh no, but it is just making you acquainted with your life, giving your life the authority. Isn't that quite right? Isn't that divine order and divine justice to give your life the authority in and through and over those bodies? I will guarantee you this about those bodies, everyone here, there are a lot of things they have done in the past, which they won't want to do in the future. Watch it and see if I am truthful. You know, sometimes we just must help mankind, whether they want it or not. We just must do it. Then after a while, when you discover it, you will be quite grateful for it. My dear ones, I say this to the whole student body, oh, did you really know what the outpouring of kindliness, divine love, and blessing upon your fellow man would do, the doors it would open to you, you would never cease, waking or sleeping. Because you would charge your higher mental bodies to keep it up while you sleep. It is one of the loveliest things in the world, because that will keep you harmonized, when otherwise your attention would be on something else. So many letters have reached the messengers asking, how are we to keep our attention where it belongs? It is easy enough. Shall I tell you the very simple secret of it? Every time your attention starts to wander off onto something undesirable, begin to pour out divine love and blessing to everything. And you will see how quickly it stops its action, how quick your attention returns where it belongs, because that is the power of your I am presence. It is a very, pardon me if I use the term, but it is a very cunning way of fooling your human self. It cannot talk back to you. Remember, for a little time yet, there are still two of you, not for a great while, but yet a little while there are still two of you, the outer and the inner man who wants your perfection up here, but the outer man says, oh, I scream for the things of the outer world. Sackcloth and ashes. That is what the things of the outer world are without wisdom directing, but when wisdom does direct the things of the outer world, they will bring happiness and blessings to you and your fellow man. I thank you.